Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/OhNoConsequences. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Cross-posted from r/Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for competing in a mother and son race with my stepson? My stepson is 11, and at his school, they have these annual events, father-son camping, mother-daughter cooking, etc. Late last year, they held a mother-son race where the mother had to run across the field and piggyback their son's back to the other side and then tie her legs together and just sprint back across. A week prior, my stepson Dylan was talking about it and how he thought it was ridiculous and embarrassing. When I looked at their poster for it, it looked fun, so I convinced him to sign up for it. Later that day, I called his mother Julie, but she didn't pick up. So I left a voicemail talking about the event and asking her to get back to us if she's available. 5 days pass, and still no word from her. Being honest, when she didn't respond, I saw it as an opportunity for Dylan and I to bond, but since I respect Julie as his mother, I sent her an email, she doesn't use social media, with the poster and talking about how Dylan has signed up for it. 2 days passed, and still nothing. So, I went to Dylan and told him that his mother hadn't gotten back to me, but if he was okay with it, I was willing to step in since it was too late to pull out. He was a bit disappointed, but still fine. The day came and it was a blast. Tiresome, but definitely worth it. It was just so much fun, and I made a few friends there who were also stepmothers. And obviously we won first place and got 2 medals. Dylan also enjoyed it and feels way more comfortable with me now. While I was browsing the school's website last week, I saw a picture from that day with me running and Dylan cheering on my back. It was a cute picture, so I downloaded it and made it my profile picture. Turns out one of Julie's friends showed her the picture and now she's going on a rant about how I shouldn't have done that and how I've overstepped my mark as his stepmother. When I told her I called her and sent an email, she went on saying that I should have sent her a text or called her again instead of just once. Am I the asshole? Edit, my husband and I have custody of Dylan and Julie comes to visit a couple times a month. She didn't bother to pick up her phone or check her email. She probably saw that you sent her a message or called her and just didn't bother to take a look at it. This is in no way OP's fault. She did everything she could have as a responsible stepmother and instead used this as an opportunity to bond with her stepchild, and the mother didn't even fucking bother, like at all. That's her loss. She messed this up. Of course she's trying to find ways to pin the blame on the stepmother for this one, claiming that she's overstepping or not doing her job as a parent, but motherfucker, look in the mirror. Definitely not the asshole. Like, this is just a good step-parent. And the mother can't complain. She didn't check her email. She didn't bother to look at what's going on. These are the consequences of those actions. Cross-post from r/Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for kicking out my daughter after what she did? I have 2 daughters. One is 33 and the other is 31. 31 got married a couple months ago. 31 had a hard time in life. She had surgery and got addicted to opioids at 15. She struggled through school for a while, ended up doing a crap ton of things she wasn't proud of, but once we managed to get her proper help, she was fine again. In context, the things she did whilst addicted were really bad. I'm talking ruining family reunions, causing arguments around the house, the works. One example is when 33 was graduating, 31 didn't want to go, and insisted we both go without her. But this was when she was at the height of her addiction, so we called her grandparents to watch her, and they would take 10 minutes to get to the house. She warned us that if she went, she might cause a scene, but 33 told her just to shut up and come, and she should at least be able to sit through one of the most important moments of her life. Well, she ended up projectile vomiting all over the next 2 rows, then proceeded to break down and wail/cry because of the embarrassment. I left with her, while my husband stayed to support 33. Obviously, her sister was furious at her, and when we got home, she promised 31 that when her graduation came, she'd ruin it for her. 31 had been off drugs for a long time before her graduation, and begged us not to let 33 come. We obliged and told 33 to stay at home or do something else. She was not welcome at the graduation. The graduation went fine. There were a ton more incidents in the 2 years where she was an addict, but in the end she got clean, went to a good college, and got a great job. She's well past her addiction now. Now, because 33 never got to ruin her sister's graduation, she's been waiting for another big life moment for her to ruin. If it's relevant, 33 never got to go to college, so that high school graduation was her only graduation. 31 graduated from college, but only me and her father were able to go because of distance. Now, the moment that 33 had dedicated herself to ruining is her wedding. 31 is often sensitive at life events, and she has some issues she's working through with a therapist on the side. 31 thought that 33 would be over the high school graduation issue, and 33 pretended like she was. In the dressing room, right before 31 was meant to walk down the aisle, 33 took her aside and started insulting everything about her. I had gone to the bathroom at this time. She called her fat, she said her dress made her look like a pathetic slut, that her husband was constantly looking at other women's asses. She went on and on until 31 was on the ground in tears. Her makeup was ruined, no one was there to fix it, and the wedding was ruined. 31 walked down the aisle, still crying. After this, I told the family what 33 had done, and no one's talking to her. I kicked her out and told her to not come back, because she was a vile human being who can't let anything go. She has nowhere else to go now because she can't afford any other house. Am I the asshole? I mean, no, because she held on to a grudge for 20 fucking years when her sister was struggling with opioid addiction. Her sister was an active addict who was still trying to recover and was still a fucking child. Now, nearly 20 years later, she held on to that grudge for that long and specifically ruined something which, honestly, is far more important than a high school graduation. Now, that being said, that is specifically between OP's daughters, 31 and 33. OP herself, however, has some unreliable narrator tendencies which are pointed out in some of the comment sections, which I'll take a look at now. Weebman comments, I feel like I'm going insane reading that comment thread. 33 years old, grown-ass woman pulling this shit and she has people on her side? Lamau! User Estreliante responds, pretty much, I give the benefit of the doubt to the 33's daughter. OP doesn't seem like a very reliable narrator, but if I'm going to say his grudge control is crazy, my older brother, he had to marry everything on loan because the stepson stole everything from him. Some people don't measure the consequences of what they do. Now, the main one of this one, the one that I'm fully looking at, is from Thames987. The only thing I kind of agree with on that thread is that there is some scope of OP being an unreliable narrator. While it doesn't excuse what 33 did, there might have been a longer story in the background which OP might have conveniently omitted. Starting from the graduation incident, OP seems to objectively blame every bad thing on the 33 and paint 31's weaker moments in a good light too. If everything that OP said is true, and is truly the full story, then 33 is a monster and got the deserved consequences. But if we try to fill in the blanks towards an alternative narrative, hypothetical of course, 1. 33 forcing a sick 31-year-old to go to graduation, not waiting for 10 minutes, and the parents just don't have a say in that? Seems more like a possessive parent not willing to let a vulnerable 31 out of their surveillance for a day and conveniently blaming it on 33. Parents of a 17-year-old should have that much autonomy on going 10 minutes later to an event. Very, very hard to believe. Seems like 33 might have suggested the grandparents. OP disagreed, and in hindsight, blaming it on 33. 2. In the post, OP says 33 could not go to college. The way it was phrased raised some genuine queries in the thread regarding why, considering a recovering addict went and 2-year-older sister couldn't. OP does mention grades and that 33 didn't want to go to college. There could be a hidden story here too. So much money went into 31's recovery and rehab and therapy, etc., that 33 didn't have the grades for a scholarship and had to be funded for a college tuition by her parents, but since they had more important use for that money, 33 not wanting to go is not going is actually her not wanting to go into debt. Even when asked in the comments about therapy for 33, OP did mention suggesting it to 33. But on being asked why not persist for 33 to get it, she went back to narrative of 31 being so receptive to therapy, rehab, etc. Every word written by OP is either 31 being angelic or 33 being the devil. Raises the question how much the true narrative of the post is influenced by that bias. All I'm saying is that there could be two sides of the coin here. 31 obviously is a victim, but OP might have at least half at fault overall, depending on how much of the real story she has left out. 33 seems to have built a resentment over 31, maybe being the glass child all along and people have suggested. Maybe as revenge over OP, considering OP would be devastated on behalf of her favorite child. I thought this was a very interesting addition that was definitely worth including, because 31 is, without a doubt, the victim here. But the credibility towards OP being an unreliable narrator is definitely something that I had itching at the back of my head, that this comment does help shine further light on. But with that being said, what are your opinions? Do you think that maybe this is just some poor word choicing on OP's part that make the appearance of there being an unreliable narrator, or do you think that there definitely is something else going on here that caused 33 to lash out like this and target 31 in such a vile way? Cross-posted from r/bestof. This post was collected by Red Earaches. Originally posted to r/parenting March 18th, 2019 by WorryDad27. Did we mess up with our son? He blew up at us during dinner. My wife, 42 female, and I, 45 male, were having dinner with our only son, 23 male, 2 weeks ago. We're celebrating the fact that he got into one of the top 10 PhD programs for physics. We're having dinner with each other at our house. My son has no past issues. He's smart, social, caring, and a hard-working boy. He has a good set of friends and an amazing girlfriend. I'm just completely shocked at what happened. The argument. Both of us were congratulating him on his achievement and told him how we were so proud of the fact that he was the first to get a PhD in the entire family. He said thanks, as usual. My wife reminded him to make it a priority to maintain contact with us when he moved to start his PhD. For some reason, he just snapped at that moment. He stopped eating for a moment and then with a stern look, he asked, "Why?" I didn't know why he was angry, I just wanted to defuse a potential fight, and jokingly said, "'Cause we're your parents, silly." Then he said, "Well, your job is done now. You don't need to bother me. You have more time for each other now." His mom asked, "What's the matter?" He said he doesn't understand why does he have to force himself to maintain contact with his parents who loved each other more than him. We were shocked and asked what makes him think that. He went on his rant and said we may love him, but he was mostly a job for us that we needed breaks from. He mentioned up till starting college and the 3 to 4 vacations, of 2 to the 3 weeks we take in a year. What? Okay, I think I got it. He mentioned up till starting college, in the 3 to 4 vacations of 2 to 3 weeks we take in a year, we mostly went without him and dumped him at our parents' places. It's true, though most of our trips have been as couples since the beginning. This isn't his first time bringing it up. He mentioned for majority of the weekends we look forward to our date nights more than spending time with him. He said he felt that while we did love him, he was always at the back seat of our relationship. I told him we needed our own couple time too. He said that he understood that, but it seemed for him that moments of fun were always preferred to be spent as a couple. The major thing that kicked me in the balls was when he said one of the major reasons he enjoyed college is that he no longer needed us for emotional support. He said he enjoyed spending time with his friends than spending time with us. He said that's why he wanted to dorm for his 4 years. Before he left, he said he was tired of being part of a family that placed him second when it came to love, especially when it wasn't his choice and he wanted to be equally loved. He left dinner that night without a goodbye and hasn't contacted us since then. Me and his mom were bawling our eyes out every day since then. We can't sleep at all at night. The worst part is that since he doesn't need us financially anymore, he can cut us out of his life with no drawbacks. Did you just say that out loud? What a telling thing to say. Huh. Did we mess up with him as parents? In our eyes, we did everything we're supposed to do as parents. We loved him, fed him, sheltered him, paid for his tuition, and spent time with him. Apparently, not enough. Forgive me if I didn't articulate myself properly, it hurts writing this. What should we do? Did we go wrong? Advice is needed. Thank you all. Update. Just last Friday, my wife and I came in physical contact with our son. A lot of stuff has happened between the time we last saw him storming out on us during dinner and meeting him last Friday. First week, we kept calling our son 5 times a day and leaving him 3 voicemails daily. We never heard him pick up the phone. Within the second week, his girlfriend picked up his phone one day and told us he's living with her at her apartment, but doesn't want to see us. She told us to give him time to cool down. Meanwhile, our lives at home were getting screwed over. The first couple of weeks, all our energy was put into getting into contact with him and visit us. We knew where his girlfriend lived, and my wife wanted to make personal visit, but I warned her showing up at his doorstep uninvited is only going to make the situation worse. We called our family members to persuade him to talk to us. It didn't matter if we had his grandparents, aunts, uncles to call him, but his response was politely telling them he was willing to talk to them about anything but us, and apologized if he inconvenienced them. We realized our method wasn't working. We decided to go for counseling and therapy for not only for trying to reconnect with him, but to also process our emotions through the difficult times. We slowly stopped overwhelming him with our attempts to contact him. Both our counselors suggested we respect his boundaries and let him make the first move. So we decided to leave a voicemail to his phone that we will stop bothering him, but our door is always open. These 3 months were painful, to say the least. Our sex life decreased significantly. There was time my wife started crying in the middle of it, since it reminded her of the time we let him cry out his nightmare when he was 3 years old, but still didn't let him enter our room because we were in the middle of having sex. And we wanted to finish. Buddy, you are not doing yourself any favors to try to convince people that, you didn't... Dude, can't really blame your son for feeling the way he does. We didn't go on any date nights or outside of the house for that fat... What? What is a fatter, and is it a possibility that was a mistype? Because I'm trying to, decipher this as I read it, but I can't figure this one out. My wife and I became homebodies. A lot of guilt was plaguing us. That guilt led to a time of introspection. We started doing research on family dynamics during our spare time. We asked questions to ourselves, such as, did we spend enough time with him? Did he feel like a burden to our relationship? Were we wrong to put our relationship first over relationship with him? We wanted to be aware what was going on in his life, so we used to follow him on social media. We checked his Facebook page every day. That was a big mistake. We found out that he proposed to his girlfriend last month, and she said yes. We found out through a post on his Facebook page. Yes, that's right, we, the parents, found out the engagement of our only child through fucking Facebook. Jesus fucking Christ. As if we weren't already in enough pain. We were stuck in the same cycle again for the past until he finally reached out to us. We got a call from our son this past Monday, and it was like a positive sign from the universe. He said he wanted to talk about a relationship. He asked if he could come to our house this Thursday with his girlfriend for support. We obviously said a resounding yes. We were anxious. I didn't expect it to be a tearful reunion, but definitely a good step in reconciliation. My wife and I discussed with each other about how to lead the conversation. We both agreed to apologize any anguish we caused and to listen to what he has to say first. When came this Thursday, we sat impatiently, waiting for him after we came back from work. When he rang the doorbell and he opened the door, there was no sense of warmth from him, but a reluctant smile. His girlfriend almost felt sad being here. I had a feeling that night. They both refused any drinks we offered them. My son felt extremely uncomfortable being there. My wife told him that if he wanted to speak first, that he should. This is what he said to us. He apologized to us if he caused us any emotional turmoil. He said his resentment started building up ever since he was little. There were a lot about our behavior that contributed to his point of view. He felt like having kids was more of a checklist that we wanted to complete instead of being actively interested in being parents and having a deep bond as a parent. He said that whenever there was a disagreement with one of us, that we had always taken each other's sides over his. It felt like there was an us versus him type family dynamic. Whenever we came back home from work, we looked forward to seeing each other, then him. When it came to spending time with him, it felt like doing stuff with him was physically and emotionally draining with him. Like we needed a break from him after having a break with him. One-on-one time felt like it was even more taxing to us, according to him. He also said that there were times where we wanted to spend time with each other. He also said that we lit up when we wanted to spend time as a couple. He said that we made it clear that we put more effort into having our date nights and couple time than spending time with him. He said we seemed more upset when we couldn't have couple time over having family time. The fact that we spent our vacation as a couple than as a family compounded the problem. He found it bizarre when we claimed we missed him after he came back from our trips. after he came back from our trips. Is H and W near each other? They are not. We comforted by saying we love him, but we need our couple time. He said that made him even more upset. He felt like we were using our parents, his grandparents, as our impromptu babysitters. He said that this feeling was further corroborated when visits significantly decreased when he got older. He said he gave up on having a relationship on us when he entered high school. He said he put more effort and time into his academics so he could use his energy in a more productive manner than on us. He said it didn't come as a surprise we didn't notice because we never formed a close bond with him to notice such things. He said his academics and friendship satisfied him more than spending time with us. Eventually, we were just roommates to him. He became apathetic when we didn't spend time with him and turned us down many times. We always thought he was too busy for us. He said that his bond with us weakened even more during college. He never missed us, and he got annoyed when we asked to meet him and complained about him not calling us often. He said he cried sometimes because he felt guilty of not missing us. He also said one of the reasons he did well in his academics was because he wanted to do well in other aspects in his life, such as following his passion in his physics, and he wanted to lead a happy life with us barely or entirely out of it. That's when he started tearing up at that moment. It still hurts him that the reason he is successful today is because he wanted to get away from us. He said he felt free when he went to college, and now he's soon going to grad school this fall on the other side of the country. The past few months, he realized a lot of new things. He concluded by stating what he wants for the future. He said he's very grateful for what we did for him, such as paying for college. He will financially support us if we ever need it, or be present when an emergency or family crisis occurs. Aside from that, we're not a priority in his life at all. We shouldn't be demanding phone calls or him visiting us anymore. He said he shouldn't be forced to maintain a strong relationship with us, but we never cultured it while we raised him. He states that family or not, an adult isn't obligated to have and maintain a relationship with any other adult. He said he was stuck in a relationship with us he didn't want to have until he became independent. He no longer regrets his decision. He said, in the end of the day, we chose to be his parents, not the other way around. We could have found ways to bond with him and find common ground and stuff to do with him, so it didn't feel like a burden to be a parent to him. We never incorporated him in our lives and saw being a parent akin to a job. We had every opportunity to form that close bond with him, and we never took it. Before he left, he said he wished us a happy and healthy life for us, and we're invited to his wedding if we want to come. Time froze after he left, and we were flabbergasted to what happened. It was like he divorced us. My door is always open to him, and I hope one day he can forgive us for the way we treated him. However, I don't know how to move on with this possibly permanent estrangement. Any suggestions? Thanks for reading this. Writing this alleviated my anxiety a little bit. Jack, I still love you, son. Please come back. I'm sorry. Update. There is so much judgment from you guys. I believe that the spouse comes first. Your kids eventually will leave you, but the spouse stays with you till the end. I maybe didn't have a proper balance, but no parent is perfect. I need help to get him to understand that we love him, and we're sorry. So, while reading this, something that I noticed is the entire post was more focused on how OP felt about his son's feelings, how it was hurting them, how him and his wife were reacting to what they were being told for how their child felt growing up in their household. It was always about them. Throughout the entirety of this, even in the edit, it's about them, about how hard they tried and they did their best, and yeah, sometimes we make mistakes, and how much their son's words hurt them. But it's barely about them understanding or comprehending where their son is actually coming from, and how he feels and felt, and the life that he was forced to grow up with. If they were taking 3 to 4 vacations a year lasting 2 to 3 weeks without him, that means that he was pretty much living with his grandparents for nearly a fourth of the year. I can't fucking believe that you admitted in this post that you guys let your 3-year-old deal with his nightmare because you two just wanted to keep fucking. So you left your 3-year-old to just sort of cry in the hallway until he felt better. Like, you admitted with that one insertion that there was a lifetime of neglect and abandon. You gave him everything he needed, but not what he wanted, which was your love and affection. And after a lifetime of experiencing that and him putting the pieces together, this is the consequences of that lifetime worth of neglect. Honestly, You guys should be thankful and happy that your son is even extending an invite to his wedding to you two. Like, he didn't cut you guys out entirely. He just isn't interested in maintaining a relationship that you guys didn't bother to even attempt to build when he was a child. Why is it his responsibility to build and maintain what you guys never gave a shit about? Cross posted from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for putting my hand over my sister-in-law's camera at my own birthday dinner after I told her no filming? I, 29 female, had a small birthday dinner last weekend with my husband, 31 male, sister-in-law, Lena, 27 female, mother-in-law, and 2 friends at a normal but nice place. Lena's an influencer. She films literally everything. Plates, forks, people breathing. 3 days before, I wrote in the family chat, "Please don't film me. Food, room is fine, just not my face." She said, "Got you." We sit down, and within like 10 minutes, her phone is up. I say, "Quiet, please don't point it at me." She goes, "You look great, it's just vibes." Husband backs me. She said no. Lena rolls her eyes, lowers it, for maybe 2 minutes. Then the cake comes, little sparkler, staff singing. Lena stands and points the camera right in my face, like, "Birthday girl reveal!" I put my hand over the lens and said, "Stop." I didn't grab the phone or touch her, just covered the camera for a second. She snaps that I ruined her shot, and this is her job. Mother-in-law says to let it go for one night. I said that it's my night, actually. It got awkward fast. Servo was right there. I felt embarrassed. Husband tried to change the subject, but Lena kept muttering about how she had to scrap everything. I even paid for my own dessert. Long story. And we left pretty quick. Next morning, Lena texts that I humiliated her and made her look unprofessional in front of everyone. Mother-in-law says I should have moved seats if I didn't want to be in frame. Husband says my boundary is fair, but maybe I made a scene by doing it during the song when eyes were already on me. She's posted me before without asking and coworkers mentioned it. I've asked her to blur/remove and it turns into drama, which is why I set the boundary in writing before dinner. Why I might be the asshole? Public place. I did physically block her shot, and yeah, it was during the song. I could have stood up and turned away or something. But also, I don't want to be online against my will, especially on my own birthday. I don't know. Am I the asshole? Not in the slightest. Honestly, the mother-in-law is definitely just unaware of what the actual problem is. Oh, if it bothered you, you could have just moved seats. How? She was the target of the filming. Birthday girl reveal, then breaking every quorum. She probably did that in that moment because she thought OP wouldn't stop her because, she would be making a scene then. But surprise, surprise, OP's not afraid of making a scene to have her boundaries respected. Also, I hate influencers. There's a big difference between a content creator and an influencer. A content creator creates content to elevate your day-to-day life, things that you can watch and enjoy. An influencer creates content to influence your day-to-day life and make you feel less than, make you want to be like them. I find that whole genre of online content creator to be just revolting, and honestly, it gets under my skin in ways that I can't explain, because I inevitably end up getting lumped in with them, and I have to back up and go, no, I'm not an influencer. I just make content for you to listen to on your morning commute, or even potentially as background noise while you're doing literally anything else. The only thing I might actually be influencing you to do is, don't forget this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup, and you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.